Give me the argument, the best argument you know, for the power of cinema.
Sup, bro?
Sup, bro?
And welcome everybody to the show. It's Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And Peliculas with the Bros is a podcast, a show of sorts where me and my brother Ivan discuss movies. Every week we do a new movie. This week, what movie are we doing, Ivan?
Nightmare Alley.
Yes, Nightmare Alley. But before we get into that, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, however you are watching or however you are listening. Peliculas with the Bros is a podcast where you can watch or you can listen to. So if you want to watch it, go to YouTube, Peliculas with the Bros. We're going to be there. We should be two Mexicans on a couple couches looking random. And if you like movies, subscribe to that. If you don't, subscribe to it anyway. We are kind of weird. So there's that. And if you're into listening to us, you can find us on all podcast platforms. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Deezer, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, anywhere you listen to podcasts, we should be there. So go ahead and follow us there. Also, we would like your take on Nightmare Alley. So if you have an opinion on this movie, and I'm sure you do, everyone has an opinion, right? If you have an opinion on this movie, what you think about the movie, leave it in the comments below. We would like to hear what you think. Also, if you have any movies that you think we should do, leave it in the comments below. But Ivan, shall we get into this?
We shall.
You ready to get a little seedy, a little dark? Put on your trench coat, your brown trench coat. Get your nice leather wallet passed down to you by your grandfather.
A watch, maybe.
Roll up a nice cig. Take a puff. And let's get into this movie. Nightmare Alley. The premise of this movie. Staten takes a job as a carny on a whim after burning down his house, which we yet to know anything about. The carnival has many things to give Staten. A roof over his head, mentorship, lust, and love. Stan takes advantage of all of these things and becomes a star in his own right as a mentalist. But darkness looms over everything Staten does. Can Staten escape the darkness that seems to follow him, or is he himself the darkness that plagues everything it touches? With the cast of Bradley Cooper as the aforementioned Staten Carlisle, Kate Blanchett as Lilith Ritter, Toni Collette as Zena Cumbrine, Willem Dafoe, I should say, shout out to our guy Willem Dafoe, as Clement Houtley, Richard Jenkins as Ezra Grindle, Rooney Mara as Mary Elizabeth, Ron Perlman, Star Wars at Guillermo Del Toro School of Wizardry, as Bruno, Mary Steenburgen as Miss Kimball, and David Strathairn as Pete Crumbean. Ivan, Nightmare Alley, written and directed, co-written and directed by our beloved brethren of the Mexican ilk, Guillermo Del Toro.
Indeed.
Ivan, Guillermo, or as I like to call him,
Don't make it Mexican.
Gordo.
I didn't think you'd go there.
Gordo. His movies. Let me list them off for ya. Kronos, Mimic, The Devil's Backbone, Blade 2, Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy 2, Pacific Rim, Crimson Peak, The Shape of Water, and now we have Nightmare Alley. He's next up to direct and make Pinocchio for Netflix.
Okay. I'm not going to watch that.
Not too sure about that, but what is your relationship to Del Toro, aka Gordo?
I see myself in him.
I see that
He's
too.
so fat. I could see myself in him.
As you're you can see your body weight
Floating around.
That's sort of
Rude?
yeah.
Yeah, but you called him fat first.
Okay, go to the. We don't mean it. I don't mean what he's saying. He's going derogatory. I'm doing it affectionately. Hold on, we're gonna take a quick call from our mother. I haven't hit it.
Hello? I went to Adrian's house. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Okay. Bye.
It was an urgent call regarding
Amotas.
something called motas, and if you're Mexican, you know what that means. Anyways,
Just incriminate our mother.
yeah, basically, gordo. That's affectionate. Ivan,
Hmm.
be affectionate.
Hmm.
Or you don't have to be, but
Hmm.
Del Toro. What do you think about his movies? Of what you know, have you watched his films? What's going on, Ivan?
Can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to answer.
All right, here we go.
I like them. I don't think they weren't ever really for me. I saw. Man, I haven't really seen many of his movies.
I know.
I saw Shape of Water not that long ago,
Mm-hmm.
a couple months maybe. It was
Out of whimsy, out of a fleeting sense.
some might say.
Out of a fleeting sense of. I don't know what the word is, but
Some might say.
okay.
It hurt. Just because I heard it was like Oscar winning, whatever.
That always gets you right.
Yeah, it was good, but not my cup of tea. It was like a little love story. It was like awkward because he's like a fish.
Mm. Mm.
So, all right, sure, love is love, I guess.
You're right.
Not gonna be fish phobic on the podcast.
Nah,
and get
never.
canceled by Atlantis,
Aquaman, shout out.
our homie. But like it was a good movie.
Yes,
like
yes,
obviously
yes.
a good movie. What other movies were there? I tried to watch Pan's Labyrinth, but I was like, I wasn't really in the mood when I watched this. So I watched like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was all in Spanish. I didn't expect it. I
Yeah.
wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah.
Not that I can't understand it, but it was just like, come on, give me some English.
I go to the movies to escape my
Heritage.
my heritage.
But like I never had any problems with them.
Going back and looking at like just his filmography, doing the research for this movie, I was surprised to see how many of his movies I haven't seen.
Hmm.
And I was like, I could have sworn I seen like 25 of his films. Given that he hasn't made 25 films, but I thought I saw a lot of his films, but then I'm like, dang, I've legitimately only seen Pan's Labyrinth and Pacific Rim.
Oh yeah, I saw Pacific Rim. That's good.
Pacific Rim is like the outlier in his sort of filmography if you're looking at like sort of common themes. I shouldn't say common themes, more so like the look and feel, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the sci-fi robotic mech movie. But then after, so I realized like, okay, I haven't seen much of his films. But in my head, when I think of our boy Gordo, I think of like horror, and I think of like a certain look of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think of I sort of the look of Lovecraft.
Mm-hmm.
Lovecraftian horror, like the beauty and the grotesque type of filmmaking, you know?
Right.
And then I watched the other day after watching Nightmare Alley. Oh no, before Nightmare Alley. I forgot whatever. I saw Crimson Peak on Netflix. I was like, I'm gonna take a look at this. I've been meaning to watch it, but the look doesn't look like my type of film.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I'm gonna watch it. I have time. And I watched it, and I was like, it confirmed to me like sort of what the idea of Del Toro in my head, which is like Lovecraftian movie, horror, but not so much horror, more so like the beauty in horror.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if we ever dissect that film, I'll go more in depth into it. But yeah, and he has sort of this. I listened to a podcast where he was talking about what he likes and the things he likes, and he does like those kind of things, like gothic looking things. If you look at the movie Hellboy, that's sort of like his steez in like, if it's perfectly ever captured, it's the idea of like there's so much beauty in like monsters,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he likes that. He's a nerd, self-proclaimed nerd. His house is full of like
Nerd stuff.
collectible stuff, art.
Uh-huh.
He commissions people to make like life-size replicas of like different random things, objects from movies, Frankenstein's, stuff like that.
Weirdo.
In an ideal world, I would sort of be like him, but not so much gothic stuff and horror stuff, just like things that I like.
Like a life-size statue of Brad Pitt and Leo from like Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
And just like in costume, like towards each other.
I would have don't take this anyway, Brad Pitt shirtless,
Uh-huh.
smoking a cigarette. And then Leo just be like sort of mad with that drink in there, like like that. I would also have the DeLorean in the garage
Right.
with Marty just hanging out of it.
Jeez, you just have like a whole cast in your house.
Yeah.
You should have like one at your table, like one like near your bed, just like maybe in the corner laying down.
Yep.
Just different actors doing different things.
Add Pikachu's Detective Pikachu, just like
Yes.
Probably Michael Jordan dunking on like a Monstar
Mm-hmm.
in like a replica life-size basketball court that I don't even use it.
Like a real Monstar, like
Yeah. Like I can't even use the basketball court because like it's taken up by that.
just different characters.
Yeah.
You can't even live in your house.
No, it's sort of the
Like
bed
there's-
is who's in the bed? Like I can't sleep in the bed because there's a character in the bed. Oh, I know. It's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The grandparents, they're just in the bed.
All of them.
Yeah, all four of the grandparents are there in the bed.
That's good. I
Yeah.
like this.
So that would be my house. But Del Toro has like a bunch of horror stuff in his house. Yeah, he's and he's like we were talking about earlier, he's part of this deadly trio of Mexican directors from Mexico. We have, and it's a director we actually talked about. So we have Del Toro, we have Alfonso Cuarón, who many know him from his latest film that I'm blanking on now. Netflix, black and white, that you didn't watch because you're like Roma, yes. And then our boy Iñárritu.
Yep.
The acclaimed director, most notably for what? Revenant?
Probably.
So these three directors, they have this brothership, this fellow director Mexican thing going on, and they're part of this stable. They're like the three horsemen of Mexican directors, right?
Right.
So that's what he's sort of notable for. And like you said, Shape of Water, won Best Director, Best Picture.
Something.
That's pretty noteworthy.
Yeah.
Like, given that the types of films he makes are usually like, they have monsters in them.
Yep.
Like, you don't really see movies. His movie Shape of Water is about the love between a woman and a monster fish, mermaid person,
A man fish.
a man-fish. And that I guess like this guy has some clout to him, right?
Yep.
So going into this movie, I would think he has like this. He has a lot of reputation. There's a lot of critical acclaim. So you would think his next movie after Academy Award-winning movie, it's gonna be another heavy hitter. Nightmare Alley. This movie is based on a book called Nightmare Alley. Made in 1946, the book was a noir. they made a movie out of it in the following year called Nightmare Alley. It's considered sort of like a noir classic, but a lesser seen one than probably the more notable ones, which I have no idea. I'm not really a big noir fan. What's your opinion on noir? Like,
Don't care.
yeah, it's such like it's definitely before our time.
Yeah.
I think it was like I was gonna say it's the Western before the Western. What came first, the noir or the Western? Oh,
Probably.
same time,
I
right?
feel like noir, because Kubrick, he did a noir, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was before westerns, wasn't he?
I don't know. This is
Maybe it's like same time.
sorry guys, we call ourselves film buffs, but we're actually
Film weeks.
film pipsqueaks.
Right.
Shout out to the classic SpongeBob goof. You like that? Bringing it all back. Yeah, noirs are just sort of they're a missing link in my film history. I've seen more modern noirs and neo noirs like Blade Runner, right? I don't know. It's just a big missing thing in my film history. And there's also like this idea of all noirs sort of have like the same story to tell.
Yeah.
Like this.
Some dame to dime for. Dame to die for.
There you go. You almost had it.
Dames. Broads. Beat it, tits.
Beat it, tits.
Flicks a cigarette. I got a crime to solve.
She.
Too far.
What else? There's also always like money.
Yeah.
Money to steal, money to lose.
Briefcase of cash.
Briefcases.
Mysteries.
Nice little feather cap. What is it? Those caps?
Fedoras.
Can't have a noir without a fedora. So noirs are just that kind of movie, and like I know there's classics in that genre, but I think it goes back to like it doesn't appeal to me enough to go and watch it. So yeah, there's that. Anyways, Del Toro sort of he's a film buff if there ever was one, so he knows everything about everything regarding cinema, and he knew that he wanted to make a remake this movie after reading the book back in the 90s. He's been trying to make this movie for a while. There's a lot of movies that Del Toro wanted to make, but we'll get into that actually later. So he's like, I'm going to make this movie because I have the green light now after making Shape of Water. Fox gave me the ability to make this movie. I'm going to make it. Get my cast. Leo was supposed to be in it, but he fell out because of timing of another film he was trying to make. He gets Bradley Cooper.
Better.
Whoa, this guy. Didn't even ask you that. And he just comes in with a hot take. And now we get Nightmare Alley. Ivan, leading up to this movie, were you excited for this movie at all?
A bit.
Why?
I like Bradley Cooper and things. I think he's like the most enjoyable actor to watch.
Whoa.
He's just like pure like charisma.
Yeah, I see that. But he's different than Leo, right? If we're like
I think Leo has to like put it on a little bit, but Bradley Cooper is just like pure natural, like it just
oozes
out of him.
So is he? But Leo's a better actor, right?
Probably more arranged.
Okay, so Bradley is like, if you need someone who's like, if you need Harrison Ford, get Bradley Cooper.
He should be the next Indiana Jones.
Oh God,
you know how good that would be.
Okay, you just put it on me. So yeah, and
it's
then
like he has like the perfect face for too, like that stubble.
Yeah,
that like Indiana Jones needs.
Yeah,
The
he's
wise
basically
cracks.
yeah. What's going on with that?
I don't know.
And they're making another Indiana, and he's in it. Harrison Ford's in it.
I don't know. He was way too old in the other
Yeah.
alien one.
Well, I think in this one, he's definitely gonna take a backseat. Like he has to.
But it's like if you see him, you want him to do things, but he's also so old. Like, what can he do?
I think the director's Manigold or whatever. He the last movie he did was well, he did Wolverine, the
good one.
the dark version, Old Man Wolverine, whatever. So I assume, and he's taking the helm over Spielberg. So
better.
Yeah. So we're gonna see something there. Anyways, we digress. Cooper. Yeah, he's devilish in his looks.
Yeah.
So you're excited because Cooper was in it. I was super intrigued. The trailer didn't really give me much as far as what this movie was about.
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of hinted at this like sort of supernatural sense. And knowing Del Toro, you're like, Gordo's gonna have something monster related in this film. But other than that, I didn't know anything about the film. I was kind of excited. Where'd you watch it, Ivan?
Mission Valley, because it's the only place that showed it.
That's true. Yeah. Damn. You had to drive more than 2 miles. How was that?
30 minutes.
How'd you like going to a different theater?
It felt like even more ghetto than
Yeah.
La Jolla.
So, for those of you not inclined to the San Diego lifestyle, the Mission Valley Mall is such a bad mall that it's stupid.
It's like, it has like the bones of a good mall, but like you walk in, you don't remember what you saw. Like it's just plain. Like the walls are just like, phew, phew. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it just, there's nothing there.
And I think one of the problems which you're mentioning now that I just realized is all the stores look the same.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a GameStop from the outside, the GameStop doesn't look different than like the jewelry store that's right next to it. Until you go inside, obviously. And then like half of the stores are vacant. Most of the stores suck.
Mm-hmm.
There's no high fashion store, which is not like I'm trying to go into a Louis Vuitton store, but like
Gucci.
hell yeah, bro. Almost no one goes to the mall now, only for the theaters and the Target that are right there.
Yeah.
There used to be back in the day, it used to be a poppin' mall, but it's just one of the older malls and it hasn't been renovated in a while. I think they're trying to up it up, but who cares? A lot of homeless around that area too, so
Yeah.
there's that. I saw it at the Mission Valley Mall as well. 5 people in my theater watching Nightmare Alley.
Around mine too.
What'd you think about it?
Mall or the?
Nightmare Alley.
It was good. A little bread and buttery for me.
Huh.
In your face.
Bread and buttery. What do you mean?
I like the subject. I like how things played out. Who got their comeuppance?
It's a noir, right?
Sure. I didn't think about that when I was watching it, but I was just like, it's a little dark and dusty trench coat movie.
Yeah. And there's no surprises.
A little bit.
Is there?
At the end, the psychologist. I didn't really expect it.
Yeah. I mean, like, the tale of our boy, Staten, you can see it from, like, the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
But yes, I agree with you. Bread and butter. That's a good way of describing it. 'Cause, like, and that's why I say there's no surprises. The movie doesn't surprise me other than a couple of, like, whoa. But you know what you're getting, and as you're watching it, you're just like, all of this works.
Yep.
As I was watching it too, I was thinking that everything's sort of like perfectly placed in its spot. You can see like the attention to detail in certain things. The movie's quite long. It's beautiful. It's painterly. It sort of reminds me of, remember when we did Kubrick's Barry Lyndon, where it just picturesque in a way. This movie can be seen as sort of like boring for the uninitiated, for the common folk.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it is long, but the story isn't sort of like just slodged. Like, it's not just taking its time. There's a lot of things it needs to tell. It's an ensemble piece, so there's a lot of stories to tell too. But yeah, I liked it. What, if anything, did you take away? Like, I know you haven't been a Gordo fan per se. I'm not saying that you don't like him, but after watching it, what was your takeaway from our boy Gordo?
He knows how to make a movie,
He does.
but just like a movie, like
A movie.
a movie.
Yeah. And I would say he's not like an adventurous director,
Mm-hmm.
or like, I shouldn't say adventurous.
Innovative.
He's not experimental.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely genre. He loves genre movies.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a straight up genre movie as far as a noir. Like, it's his take on a noir. Like I said, he usually does horror films or movies with monsters. Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth, right? I do think that there's a place for a genre film, for a movie that's not trying to be like artsy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's artsy in its own right. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, this is a genre film, so like there's not really anything that's gonna surprise you other than like then there's like a little twist at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, he knows how to make a film, and you're gonna get what you're gonna get, and it's gonna be bread and butter, meat and potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna be the best meat and potatoes you're ever gonna get.
Like, if you want just a classic movie experience,
Yes.
that's what you're getting.
Yes.
I think, like, comparing this to like Don't Look Up.
Oh.
Like, it's a good movie, yeah, but Don't Look Up was a lot more. It's a lot less of a movie, and it's closer to like a documentary, satire. Like, you don't immediately think a movie,
Uh-huh.
because it's trying to do something else than what Del Toro is trying to do.
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah, it's definitely not a modern film.
Or is it?
Why would you say that?
Wait, who?
Oh, sorry. Nightmare Alley.
Yeah.
It's sort of like and I always think of Del Toro like this. Like, he loves the classic stuff.
Uh-huh.
So he's going to make a film. He's not making a movie. He's making a film.
What are some of the last movies we've seen?
So we saw Don't Look Up. We saw Licorice Pizza. We saw before that, what was the film? I forgot. Spider-Man, obviously. We've seen Suicide Squad.
Jesus,
I
like
know.
a year ago.
There's a gap right there.
A little bit.
Why? What are you trying to think of?
I just think a lot of the movies we've been watching are like, they have modern messages to it.
Yeah.
They are related to like our culture now.
Yep.
In some way. Whereas this is like, you could at any point have this release and it's like a very basic message.
Yeah, and I know a little bit of why he made this film. He was talking in a podcast, he was saying that he made this film because he saw how currently there's sort of this idea of the huckster being a winner.
Oh, okay.
Um,
They never win.
a la Donald Trump, a la influencers, social media being, like just random people that talk a lot of shit and end up making lots of money. And he sees this and he's like, well, this movie sort of fits perfectly into this time frame where like the huckster in this film, Bradley Cooper, Stanton, there's always a downfall for this guy. And he wanted to portray that.
Right.
And the film is, let's talk about the film a little bit. Like, it's kind of negative, like, the ending, there's no happy ending. Well, there is, I guess, if you don't like the character, right?
Yeah.
There's no happy ending. The film, it's beautiful, but it's ugly.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much darkness in the film. Like, there's only a couple characters that are sort of good. Pure. So it sort of fits in that regard, but yeah, just like taking it as what it's worth, it is not, I mean, out of all the movies we've seen recently, it's the least modern film, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Not just because of the time and place it's set in, but because of like sort of its message.
Right.
But like I was saying, the message can be taken from anything.
2 movies, Licorice Pizza and this one with Bradley Cooper.
Hey,
That's pretty convenient. And in this movie, the dude from Mindhunter is the bodyguard.
yeah,
That was weird. Like, what a coincidence for me, at least. Not for you, because you don't watch good things.
I watched Mindhunter.
I'm just
Matrix, 2 Mindhunter alums.
Oh, yeah. That is another weird coincidence, huh? Well, that was a man-made coincidence for me.
But it's actually really weird because like you don't see those characters often or those actors often, and then the 2 of the more recent movies we've seen, you have like 2 leading characters in that movie.
So we just need the Dr. Carr, the girl.
Oh man, she's good in that show.
She kind of looks like Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, I just thought about that.
Play your twin sister in something, or I don't know.
Kate Blanchett, all-time face, right?
She's definitely a face and a half.
In this movie, like whenever they have like the camera right at her face, I'm like, that face, so much to it.
It's like very like a statuesque,
Yeah.
but not in like a ugly way. Just
No. And it's weird because she was in Don't Look Up.
she was.
But when I saw Don't Look Up, I'm like, that's a different Kate Blanchett. Like, I know who she is. That's Kate Blanchett, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And then she's in this movie, and I'm like, oh, Kate Blanchett. But I didn't recognize they were the same person until I was doing the research. I'm like,
acting.
what the hell? In this movie, she's like, I would kill you with my lips. But in that movie, she's like, hey, guys, what's up?
Yeah.
Wow. We should put some respect on that Blanchett character, right? She's a lady.
A dame to die for.
You know, I'm going to say it right now. She's my new favorite actress.
Shut up.
Why not?
You just saw 2 movies.
Lord of the Rings.
Eh.
Loki. Sorry, Loki. Thor.
As what? Oh, yeah.
Come on. What a actress in that film.
All right.
Poor Kate Blanchett. She's like, you know me from Thor?
She was in Benjamin Button. I like that movie.
What about The Aviator?
Never saw.
It's a good movie.
Hmm.
The color in that film is crazy.
Like, colorful or like
Yeah. Like the cinematography is just super weird.
Spielberg?
No. Take another guess.
I know it's
Marty.
McFly.
Marty McFly.
Scorsese.
Yeah. You wouldn't know by reading like the cast, and you would think it's
That's a different movie for him, huh?
yeah.
Should watch that and then judge him.
Yeah, hard. Judge him hard.
Yes.
Why?
Okay,
There's a thing about this movie too that, like I was saying earlier, I thought it was gonna be supernatural, and this whole time you have this like icky feeling of like a monster is just gonna pop out or a ghost or And I love that about the movie, that it never happens, but you always feel it.
Because the monster was in front of us the whole time.
God damn it, Evan, you are a genius.
The monster is humanity.
Oh God.
We're the real monsters.
Oh no. Yeah. And I also love that Gordo's like, I'm not gonna make another monster film. I'm gonna do something different.
But he does.
But he does.
That sly dog.
Gordo, eat another donut.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Jeez.
I'm the one that was supposed to be affectionate, but we're just silly goose Del Toro. Like, if you ever meet us, just give us a writing gig and we'll make a great movie.
More producing. So we're just idea men. We're not writers.
Okay. But we can try to write it. If you don't like it,
Oh,
we'll have a great idea. How about this? X-Men. You like Mad Men, right? You like noir? Mad Men sort of noir.
X-Men. I like it.
You like it?
No, you've pitched this like a million times.
Oh. Okay, we won't do it. Do you like the sort of gloominess of this film? The setting, the time, the place?
I just like the cigarettes where it's like you could just smoke wherever you want. It's just Mad Men. It's like,
It's pre-Mad Men, though.
yeah, but that Mad Men ideology of you could smoke in a diner and then put your cigarette out on the pancakes when you're done and walk away.
And then spit on the pancakes. It's such a gritty time back then. Oh, God. Yeah, there's... the look of the movie is like Art Deco. You know that? Like, think of like Manhattan and like Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Just like the geometric shapes,
Like when they're in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the feel. And then like there's the other setting of the carnival. The circus.
Carnies.
The carnies,
Dirt poor, gross, mangy, ugly, fat.
Strongest man alive, hairiest woman alive.
Yeah.
The geek. Do you have any relationship with the circus? Like, what's you and the
I want
circus?
to be a geek when I grow up.
I knew it. I knew it. When you were born, mom brought you home. I'm like, that's a geek. Go get a chicken, Mom. This little baby's going to bite the head off.
God. Jeez. My kid said that to me. I was like, what the heck is...
I was smoking a cigarette in the dark, and Mom opened the door. I'm like, it's a geek.
You just see like the lit end of the cigarette. Like when you walk in, you don't see it, and then you puff, and you see it brighten a bit. It's like, Adrian, what are you doing? Just flicking at the baby, at me, right in the forehead.
Adrian, ¿por qué haces eso? It's a geek. Put it in the circus.
Put it in its cage, give it that opium alcohol.
Yeah, just. And every time like Mom was making the bottle, I'm like, hey Mom, give me the bottle. I'll be right back. And I'll be in the back in the kitchen just grabbing the opium bottle, looking over my shoulder. Bloop, bloop. Adrian, ¿qué estás haciendo?
Vitamins.
He's a geek. My mom slaps me. Pull.
Head spins. Like a cartoon.
You don't know what's good for your mom.
Eat it, toots.
That's so weird that like I'm this grifter at the age of 8.
Little rapscallion over here.
The circus in my life. Every time I looked at a circus, I'm like,
My life's a circus.
What?
My life's a circus.
That's for sure.
Hong Kong.
Every time I looked at a circus, I'm just like, I don't want to do that.
You don't want to be in there?
No, I don't want to go. But for Del Toro, for Gordo, he's like, circus is me.
Circus is like an old. It's like it's leaving now, huh? Like,
Yeah.
I don't see it being a thing in like 50 more years at all.
No. I mean, there's like two circuses. There's like the circus, the cool circus, which is probably like only in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then there's all the other circuses. I
can
mean,
see-
at least for me, you know.
yeah.
That's what I know.
I see the Las Vegas one staying up just because it's like timeless and they could probably do it super amazing every time and then innovate with like new technology or whatever. But like traveling circus, I think the coolness of it is seeing that happen, but like the elephant standing or whatever, doing whatever, all that. But you can just see that all on your phone and like crazier stuff, more entertaining stuff.
So in San Diego, there was always the Circus Vargas that passed over here, and that circus was like, I don't know. I think we've only been twice or something as kids, and I don't really remember much from it. I guess I didn't go enough. It was kind of creepy, the idea of it, and it was every time I thought of it, I just thought of like ghetto, like it's so ghetto. But it never really appealed to me. But I never met someone that's like, I love the circus.
That'd be funny. Maybe if they're like, I love the history of the circus. I'll be like, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
that would make sense. Like, I love the idea of a circus.
Yeah.
There's a couple things about this movie that I want to talk about. There's the circus part. There's this idea of like this guy, Cooper Staten, who just leeches off everything and becomes sort of wealthy in his own right. But no matter what, he's going to get his downfall. He sort of, to me, when I think of the character played by Cooper, I think of him just being like a sponge. Like, he's not really initiating any action until sort of the middle part of the film. And once he starts initiating it, it's all downhill for him.
He's learning. He's learning.
And then the Cate Blanchett character, who turns up being sort of his main downfall. What's her motivation in this film?
I think she's just like a psychopath in her own way and like was so interested in like psychology where she's like, this guy's interesting. I'm going to figure him out and then just destroy his life. And that's like her hobby.
Did she do that? Like, did she want to do that from the moment that she met him at the Mentalist show? Or was it until he made her feel bad?
I think
At the
started
show.
with like her being interested in what he was. But once she figured it out, she's like, oh, he's just in it for the money. He's nothing else than that, you know?
Yeah.
And then I don't know when she decided. Maybe it was like their second meeting or right after the first one.
Uh-huh.
Probably after the first one, he's like, give me information on that guy. She's like, this guy, I already figured him out. He's in there for the money.
Damn. She's like, you're such a disappointment.
Yeah.
I thought it would be more fun.
Yeah.
One of those characters. What a baddie. In both ways. There's a motif in this film of circles. And the Toro says, like, the circle is symbolizing, like, you're gonna...
You are what you become or what you do.
Like, you're always gonna come back to this point where it's like, it's inevitable. It's inevitable that you're nothing, almost.
We got to break the wheel. Game of Thrones.
Hey, now. And oddly enough, the film ends... I never thought the film was going to end like that.
Uh-huh.
As far as, like, him being a geek. I knew he was going to be sort of, like... He might have died, you know, but...
Yeah.
I love, like, the whole, like, I was born for this. But the thing that threw me off about, like, the ending was, like, you know, like, the end when he's like, I'm born for this.
Mm-hmm.
There's, like, the other guy in the background that was watching the film, and he's like, And I was like, come on, guy.
Well, you gotta be completely silent the whole movie.
Yeah.
Gee, let the guy laugh.
But it's like, he was that kind of laugh that's like, you sly dog, you got me. I'm like, we know what he's trying to do. You don't have to give
He's
that.
just laughed, Adrian. You give him a whole story.
And I love like Cooper's, like, I love how they focus on Cooper just like breaking down.
His face.
Yeah. I was skimming through the original film, and in the original film he says the same line, but the film ends with the girl that he left being at that circus, and him sort of geeking and like running around everywhere, and everyone's like, we gotta find them, and like the girl's like, who do we gotta find? Like, oh, Stanton's here. Stanton, it's okay, I'll take care of you. And he's like, oh, it's okay, you know. So it ends like on a good note, almost like,
That's stupid.
yeah, like she's gonna take care of him. But this film ends like, oh, he's lost.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about this film. Two films that we watched recently, not a happy ending.
It could be.
Don't Look Up, sure. Don't Look Up, and this film. And I like that. It's a sort of sign of the times too, right?
Or like,
Directors have a gloom outlook.
I think it's more like realistic. Not that like life is like
right,
you're
right,
born
right.
to die sort of thing. But like there's a good chance it can't end well if you don't like put your guns up sort of thing. Like you gotta work for it and then be aware of what you're doing sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because Bradley Cooper, he could have made out a millionaire, lived with that girl her whole life.
He could have been happy.
Yeah, but he just went too far.
He wanted more.
Same thing with like Don't Look Up. Like they could have been happy. They could have been like, we survived. This whole world, we're gonna come together and be peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, more money. It's like it's the same ending.
Yep. Yep.
What the heck?
Well, they're dealing with the same kind of idea of like greed and sort of a gloom outlook on humans.
On the bad humans. But in the end, it does kind of affect us. But not in this one. Don't Look Up, it affects us. But this one, it just like, I guess he did kind of leave a trail of death. With him. But in the end, he did still lose.
That's true. And it's also interesting, like, other than these two films, I mean, there's the last two that's already popping in my head, but a lot of the films we watched recently are sort of either superhero films or nostalgic films for the past.
There's a change coming, huh? There's something happening.
There's something.
There's something. I see little particles.
Yeah.
Little magical particles.
What's other films coming this year?
I
think we did like the most anticipated films recently.
There's one. Oh, what's the new Batman? What's the lesson with that? Well, it's supposed to be like darker and grittier, but also more realistic. I think it'll be more into like his mental issues. So maybe that's like another sign, like mental issues. Like, I think Batman's gonna be like a bad guy, like more of a bad guy.
I don't know what the hell they're trying to do with Batman. I could see all. I mean, yeah. I was trying to ask for not a superhero film because superhero films are so weird to me right now.
Look it up.
Because they're like, when I think of superhero films, I just think of like us trying to sort of not. How do I say this? They're trying to ignore the present time and when we're going to superhero films, we're trying to sort of be okay with our frustrating times that we're going through right now. Like we're trying to find something to distract us.
Right. That's mostly Marvel though. But even Marvel is like they're kind of dipping into like loss and mental issues and stuff. Like all the Loki, like bad guy turned good sort of thing. Captain and Winter Soldier. that's like racism is still clearly alive. WandaVision, mental issues.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, he has to like literally give up everything in order to be like a hero.
Yeah, I guess it's not all
Like
happy.
Spider-Man, that's not really a happy ending if you think about it.
True.
So movies,
Hit me with your
a lot
best.
of them are superhero. I'll skip the Avatar 2. I don't know when that's coming. There's a lot of superhero movies. Moonfall, that
Moonfall.
it's by Roland Emmerich, the destruction director. Like 2012 sort of thing.
Ugh.
I kind of want to watch that. Like the CGI looks cool.
For what is it called?
Moonfall. Like the moon is hitting Earth.
Why do you want to watch that?
You should, if you're annoyed by it, then you should watch it.
Okay, you're right.
Gotcha. Top Gun remake, Sonic 2. Not really much.
What's that movie that's coming out soon? Oh yeah, it is Batman. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Anyways, yeah, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, there's something happening. There's a thesis. But I think we're too zoomed in. We need to zoom out.
Boom. I see it.
This movie sort of threw me off because the parents of Step Brothers are in this film.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
And I feel like I don't know, I feel like Del Toro didn't watch Step Brothers, so he doesn't know of like the connotation,
Right.
the connection between that and this, and I'm like, he sort of threw me off because
It's that one the billionaire dude in that movie or millionaire. Like I just can't unsee him as like the
I know.
stepbrother dad. Really.
Me neither.
And I'm sure he has like a ton of movies.
Yep.
But he was so good in that movie. And then that's
I
when
know.
I just kind of. And he was in The Shape of Water too.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
That's
and-
probably why he likes him.
Yeah.
He's a good actor, but he was just too iconoclastic in
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers, yeah. Ivan, what's your favorite scene in this movie?
I like when Kate Blanchett was introduced and he was trying to divine what was in her handbag.
Yeah.
And then the later explanation of it all. Just because, like, at the time I was like, oh, she's in on it. Like, Kate Blanchett. Like, because it was like a 2-year time skip. So I thought, like, we're just catching some crazy new.
Dime. Broad.
Yeah.
Sorry. Should've said bro. But that's how they're mentioned in this film. Come on.
So
Yeah. Yep.
it was just cool to see him in action.
Yeah, his thought process.
Yeah.
How he dissects and figures out a mentalist, how they figure out who people are.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has mommy issues. You're no different.
Beat it.
That was a good scene. I love, to me, the my favorite parts of the movie were the circus parts
Mm-hmm.
and the mysterious circus parts. Like, why is this guy biting the chicken's head off? Why are there babies in little jars? Those were creepy.
Yeah.
I love the character, William Dafoe's character, just like explaining like how everything works.
Yep.
Just like the life of the circus, you know? That was interesting to me. Well, sorry, not to cut everything off from best scenes, but what would happen if Del Toro and my boy Tim Burton switched spots and Del Toro made Dumbo
Never
and
saw Dumbo.
Tim Burton made this film?
This movie would be bad.
Guys, Ivan doesn't like Tim Burton.
I saw Dark Shadows the other day.
What'd you think?
It sucked.
Like suck?
There's good. It was funny. I mean, I'll talk about it more then. It was funny moments.
Oh, okay.
Overall, I was like, "What the heck is this?
Yeah.
What is he doing?"
Yeah. Tim Burton's weird. I saw Big Fish.
I've been wanting. I saw it on Netflix. I'm like,
It's weird.
It looks weird.
We'll talk about it later. Another thing before we get to best scenes, I completely missed this, but Del Toro, he has like a bunch of movies that he said he was gonna make, but he didn't make. And he writes so many films.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I have a movie for that. I have a movie idea for that. So there's like Justice League Dark, whatever. Pinocchio, Beauty and the Beast, The Haunted Mansion, the Disney property, whatever. And every year I hear like, oh, he's gonna make that film. That's gonna be amazing. And then he drops out. He's like, no, I'm making this movie instead. The Hobbit, he was gonna make the trilogy for The Hobbit, but he dropped because of like conflict or something. Pacific Rim 2. There's so many films, right?
But I like that the idea of just cranking out scripts.
Yeah.
I think it would make you not so attached to everything. Because imagine he like has one script, like I want to make this so bad, and he just can't think of making anything else, and then he's just stuck not working. Because right now, like he was in a spot where he could have made anything, and he made this because of Shape of Water. So it just shows like put the work in. Don't think about making your magnum opus.
And if you look at his like past 3 films, Crimson Peak, Shape of Water, and Nightmare Alley, they sort of have like the same look and feel. I wonder where he go. Like Pinocchio's his next film, I guess, if he really finishes it off. Kind of weird, right? Like he's doing what he wants, and that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you have like a million scripts, you can just tailor it to like the times. Like, well, there's some what's the word you use for like Trump charlatan?
Yeah, Shuckster.
Shuckster. Like, well, we need a movie about a Shuckster getting his due.
Yeah.
Like Nightmare Alley. I wrote this 25 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
And then it gets made.
Okay. Best scene. I like that scene. I like all the circus scenes. There's not too many scenes also that stand out to me because like everything feels of a piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I like also his restraint, like of not having too much like action scenes and like nothing too crazy. Everything's like the same tone.
I like the gunshot sounds and the punching because they're so like, boom. You're like,
yeah, when he killed that dude.
Yeah, it was like I don't think punches are ever that loud, but he like added like bricks colliding together to that, and they showed his face. He was like mashed in those. It was cool.
The real rage in the man, right?
Yeah.
The beast.
The monster. Oh my god.
Synergy if I ever had one. Rewatchability.
Medium.
I'm just gonna say it. Low. I want to remember this movie as I saw it in the theaters.
Okay.
That's it. Let's rate this film.
How many geeks out of 5?
Woo! How many tickets? 4 out of 5 tickets? 5 out of 5 tickets?
I have 4 geeks.
4 geeks? You're geeking on 4 geeks right now? I don't know. This movie sort of conflicts me.
I don't understand you.
I know. It's partly because like my rating system is so
bad
up. Yeah. Like I give everything a 4. And now I don't know what to do with myself.
I saw this coming like a year ago, Adrian.
I know. Once you saw me give No Time to Die.
A 4.25 or
yeah,
5.
you're like, well, there goes your rating scale.
There's no room.
There's no room for anything.
Well, you could start fresh right now.
Can I?
Sure.
5 out of 5.
That's not fresh.
4.5 out of 5 geeks. This movie is really good.
Can you re-rate No Time to Die then?
Yeah. 5. No, it's a 3.
There we go.
It's a 3 out of 5.
Now I see a scale here.
The thing is that I'm such a like a. I see the good in too much. Like I see the good in everything. Like that
but
affects me in music. That affects me in everything.
but the a 3, I think it's because people see 3 as a bad thing too much. So I still see the good, but I also see that 3 isn't bad.
Yeah, that's me then. It's like it's not that it's that I see bad in 3 too.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't see bad in 3. I should see
3 is like a 7 out of 10, and that's not bad.
yeah. It's like what I tried to tell my mom when I got like F's in school, like half. Give me some credit, you know?
I did half the work.
Yeah, come on, man.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And what influences me a lot too is like going to the movies and experiencing a movie. Cuz I was like right in the front for No Time to Die, and it was so much action and I was so into it. I was like, ah! 4.5 out of 5 for this film.
Okay.
Think it brings it up to one of my favorite films of the year, but I don't know about that, so.
Well, it released last year, technically.
That's true. No, I'm counting it for this year.
All right. Excuses.
We'll be back with the rest of this podcast, but Nightmare Alley, good film. Thank you, Gordo. Ivan, it's time for a section we like to call
Things and such.
Moon Knight.
No. I'm not too excited.
Me neither. Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac.
It's probably going to be good, but I don't know. I just want the movies, you know? I'm not too into the shows. Like, I'll watch them eventually, but
Maybe this is the show, though.
Like, this is the show.
This is the show that breaks it for you.
But I really like Loki. Like, they're not bad.
Oh, okay.
But I just want the movies.
Right. The shows sort of don't entertain you like that.
Yeah. I'd say I had more fun. I enjoyed Shang-Chi more than Loki, but Loki was better because it was in the theater.
Right.
And it was like a nice 2-hour block of like an event.
Is it that Marvel doesn't translate to TV as good? Or is it that movies are ultimately your favorite thing to do than TV? Like, what I'm asking is, like, what's your favorite movie of all time? Or, like, what's a great movie?
Other Guys.
Okay.
I would want Other Guys HBO show, though.
Right.
And that could be better.
Right. Like, I guess, like, would you rather watch... What would you say is better, Mad Men or Other Guys? And given that they're both equal rating to you, what would you rather do? Or what would you...
So, like, a Mad Men movie versus a Mad Men... Mad Men movie versus Other Guys movie, or Other Guys TV show versus Mad Men TV show? Like, is that what you're kind of...
No.
Is that adding another layer of complication to this?
I'm just asking, I guess, like, what's your favorite format, TV or movies?
I think it just depends what they're trying to do.
So Marvel doesn't do good TV for you so far.
Yeah.
It's not good enough.
I think it's because Marvel, like, you don't really need 8 hours for what it's trying to do. Like, you need 8 hours for Mindhunter because that's slow and, like, you have to sit with it. Marvel movies, you could probably do all the shows in a movie in some way.
I would disagree with that because, like, WandaVision, I think there's, like... to me, WandaVision is probably the best show for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's because it was the first one, but there's a lot of story to tell.
Yeah.
And a lot of things you can sit on and build characters with.
Well, WandaVision has to be a TV show because it's, like, meta with it being a TV show, you know? Mm-hmm. But besides that, maybe it could have been meta with it being a movie. But, like, the ending of WandaVision was, like, we found the bad guy. Let's
Right.
fly up and fight each other.
Yeah.
And like the whole plot is like she's crazy, but she doesn't know it. And then she figures it out, and she figures out it was her fault. And then there's like that tiny plot point of her seeing like the runes and how to trap people.
Yeah.
And then that's the end. That's how they solve it. And I think you could boil that down to a movie
Yeah.
if you really tried. I'm not saying it was done badly as a TV show, but I just think TV shows are meant to be like you sit with everything. I don't see that too much with. Like, I think an action TV show is kind of pointless.
Yeah. I agree.
Like a movie should be action.
Yeah. 'Cause like action doesn't lend itself too well for TV for me. Like I get disinterested easily.
And action is like, realistically, if you got in one fight, you would be out for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. When someone hits you in the head with a gun,
Yeah.
you're most likely gonna die.
So a movie's kind of perfect because,
It's done.
yeah, it's that 2 hour frame of the person's life
Yeah.
if they're doing it in 2 hours or whatever. But you see that, like, just that bit, and it's like a perfect amount of action for that bit.
Mm-hmm.
But like Winter Soldier of, I don't know, like a month of action of getting your knuckles destroyed, your face destroyed, like it can't be good. But that's a different,
Yeah.
it's like realism sort of thing.
Yeah. Winter Soldier sucked because it was.
Racist.
Wait, what? Not Winter Soldier. Falcon and the Winter Soldier
Yeah.
wasn't good because I don't know, just that kind of stuff. It's sort of boring to me.
Racism? You think racism is boring?
Not racism, but action on TV screens that I can see.
I'm sure there's good action shows, but like, if I guess it's also preference because like Mindhunter's my favorite, Madden's my favorite.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're all just talking.
Talkie talk. We like the talkie talk.
But I think that's the good thing about shows. Like,
Shows are good because you get to
I got it.
go.
Shows are good because you get.
Damn you.
I think the benefit of like a big screen for a movie is you could see like picturesque landscapes and you could see like the brutality of a and like you could feel everything. But with shows,
you're in the fight.
yeah, with the show, it's like since it's just like that most of the time,
Smaller screen.
you have to rely on the dialogue to tell your story.
It's a more intimate experience too.
Because if you get a punch on the TV show, it won't be as punchy as one in the movie.
Unless you have a theater at your house.
But then you got to kind of cater to the regular normie people who just watch TV.
Cater to the device. So, what's the best show for iPad? What's the best show for
Probably like Cocomelon
yeah,
or like
that's true.
Little Rascals. I don't know.
So Moon Knight, Ethan Hawke, Oscar Isaac. Sounds good, but not too interested. I don't know what to say.
It's probably going to be amazing in its own way.
I'm just not interested in action. That's what it is. Action on TV, you're right.
Growing up, evolving.
The Batman. 3 hours long, Ivan. I don't want that, man. Can you just make a They're putting so many characters in it.
But they're supposed to be like reoccurring. And I think it's supposed to be just like flashes of the character, not like I was born in a penguin zoo.
Right.
And they raised me as a penguin. It's like, here's Cobblepot. This is his MO. This is what he does. Here's Catwoman. You just like know they exist. And I think that's like how you should handle Batman now. Like we know who Batman is. We know the main villains. We know who they are. We don't have to reintroduce everyone all the time.
But 3 hours, dude?
I'm excited. Dark Knight Rises was 3 hours, and that's like the most entertaining movie ever.
True. I guess like the fatigue is already in me, so
It's gonna be good. I'm probably gonna cry during it.
That tells you everything you need to know about Ivan Afrasiu. Kanye demands final cut on his documentary.
Shut up, Kanye.
Dang! He's come full circle, guys.
The circle. I think, like, at a point, like, I'm tired of
Yeah.
like, I imagine these directors they know what they're doing. And he's just getting to a point where he's, like, micromanaging too much with stuff like this. Like, I don't even know what take to have on him, but this was just like, all right, I don't care anymore about that. Just release documentary. It's not like they're gonna make him into some crazed lunatic, because that's how everyone already sees him.
Yeah.
The worst thing they can do is show him how people already see him. And I know he's like, have you heard about that T-Pain story with him?
Yeah, that he said that don't use that lyric, it's stupid.
No, well, that's a different one. But
Oh, okay, go.
I think they're in the studio, and like T-Pain did something weird or did something stupid,
He would do that, but
and then Kanye just like made fun of him in front of like everyone, and like ha ha, you suck, like stuff like that. But like T-Pain said it like it was super embarrassing and
Yeah.
uncomfortable, and I'm sure that's like what the documentary is.
right.
And I think in Kanye's mind, he doesn't think of it as like a bad thing.
Yeah.
He just sees like he's just making fun of someone. Like,
Yeah.
it's funny, but in actuality, it's probably not good.
Yeah. And I think it's super disrespectful for Kanye to be like, I need final cut on this documentary made by these directors.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are, I don't know anything about them, but for you to say like, I deserve to have the final cut, I deserve to be editing this film. Like, what do you mean? This isn't your take. This is a take by these artists on something. This isn't your project.
It's like imagine if he did that to like any other artist on his label. Well, I mean, I guess it's not about. It's different because it is his life, I guess. But I just think it's still like that person's art. So we can't say, like, I'm going to make it my way. Like, no, because it's their
like
take.
if I want to make a comic book about Kanye's life, I have my own vision about it.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye doesn't deserve to have his editing on my comic book.
Yeah.
It's my interpretation of it. And I get it that it's a documentary about him, which is sort of like, you're talking about my real life, you shouldn't manipulate it. But it's an artistic vision.
And if he wanted to do it himself, he should have done it himself in
Correct.
the first place.
Yep.
Because I think it's his footage, isn't it?
Oh, he owns it? Or something like that?
Because I know he's been like recording himself for the past like 80 years.
Really?
Yeah. He has like a dude who follows him around and just records him.
That's cool.
That's cool. But I think it's that footage. So maybe he has some right, but also like if he wanted to actually do it, he should have from the start been like, look, I have all the footage. Let me edit this together.
Yeah.
Instead of like when it's done, say like, you know what? Let me look at it.
Yeah.
Like it's almost laziness at a point.
Yeah. Oh, Kanye. And he's fighting publicly with his baby mama.
The downfall or rise of Kanye West.
There's always a downfall and rise.
The circle.
You shuckster.
Kanye's life. It's like a weird dream of mine, but like I want to make a museum on him. Just like it would show him at like his worst too, like how bad he is. But like I think his life is the most like interesting from like a mental perspective.
Yeah.
And a creative like take, because he's obviously like just not like good at times, but he also makes like the most artistic stuff ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like truly like one of the most artists.
Yeah.
In like our generation at least.
And also that he came up in a time when we can all see him on the TV, on the internet, you know, and he has access to social media, so we can hear his thoughts. Or people like Miles Davis, I'm sure he was the same way, but he came up in the 50s and 60s where it wasn't so accessible. And he wasn't like Kanye where he was like so outlandish and came out in public because he kept to himself. But
Yeah.
there was drug use, womanizing, and artistic work, you know? So interesting.
Yes.
Dr. Dre Super Bowl.
Spot, the TV spot thing.
Yeah, I found it crazy, like so weird. It was
Surreal.
cool. Yeah, surreal is a better word. Just like so much production into this little Super Bowl ad. But it just shows like the scope of the project and also how important it seems to be.
It just doesn't sit right with me. You know?
Yeah.
And I think maybe it'll be their most amazing thing ever, but it's just tacked onto the Super Bowl, which is like the most ad-ridden thing, like sell you the most stuff ever possible. I think it's like the biggest advertisement in the world, I think, besides like World Cup.
Yeah, it is.
So that attached to it is like, it kind of defeats the purpose of like some artistic whatever they're gonna do. Doesn't like defeat it, but it like takes the wind out of it.
Right. I liked like they put so much like how do I say it? They show how much he
Dre?
Yeah, so that's Dre in the trailer of the Super Bowl ad. They show how much impact he's had
Right.
via his music.
Yes.
And his music in the trailer seems so like profound and like, you know, from like the keyboard to like all the artists he's had under his wing. It's kind of crazy.
Let's be real.
Uh-oh.
I'm more curious, but I feel like his impact is only like a 5-year span that has then like branched out into everything. But I don't think like, because I think Kanye's impact is like a 20-year span and it's still ongoing.
Right.
Whereas Dre, he had like, obviously he has his legacy. I'm not like taking that away. But I think he's like sitting on the fact that what he did like 20 years ago for like 5 years. And I don't think is he building anything else, or is he just?
Well, I think it's more so true. His like creative peak was 20 years ago, right? And that creative peak lasted for, I would say, 10 years. And he hasn't himself added his own thing, like his own work hasn't added too much to the current zeitgeist or current culture, but it's more so how his tendrils has been over hip hop,
Right.
with Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg.
Mary J. Blige.
What?
Mary
J. Blige.
Sexist.
But
Of course, you named the woman last.
well, I just don't see his impact on her. Like, I think
Yeah.
she's more of her own doing.
She made herself.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a good save.
I think that's Dr. Dre's legacy now. Where Kanye is more immediate. Like, yeah, his tendrils are big. I think, like, if you do Kanye Super Bowl in 20 years from now, because he's going to be the same age as
He's
Dre,
going to have, like,
that would be
stadium of people he's inspired.
Yeah, like, you can see a much more octopus arm grasp than Dre's, but I'm just saying Dre's like the first producer to be doing that, and then Kanye's just like the next
that did it
evolution.
better.
Yeah.
Understood.
I saw this stupid thing. I wasted 20 minutes of my life, but it was interesting. to look into Pokimane versus Ninja. Do you have any idea what this
I
is?
know who that is. I know who they are, but I don't.
You're like, why are you even saying their name?
Yes.
To me, okay, we don't have to go into the details, but after reading like why they're arguing and all that, and like all like the meta things that they're arguing about, I'm like, dang, there's this whole world that I have no idea about, and it was creepy, and I was laughing out loud.
I think, from my experience, I was never really like a stream watcher. Like way back, I used to watch people playing games, which is like the proto version of streamers.
Yep.
But they would just record there and then talk about the game, make jokes, whatever. What they do now.
Yeah.
But back then, it was a lot more. Like people had a little more character to them, where like not everyone would watch them. Like there was no Pokemones, but like the people who did watch them, they're like a fan base.
Yes.
And they were they knew what they were doing in a way.
Yeah.
Whereas Pokimane and Ninja, they're like, their fan base is just like kids.
Yeah.
They're not really there for who the person is, more like of
A
who the fan
demographic.
base is. Yeah. Where's I going with this?
Sort of your experience and how it's changed.
Oh, I just see like streamers as they're more ads. They're just advertisements for the next game, which is like
They're
cool.
just money makers then.
Yeah, I mean back then they weren't. Like
Uh-huh.
they're advertisements in the way where, like the good form of advertisements where they would
Recommend things that they like.
play good games, say that was good, and they would be funny and they would be a person.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, here's $1 million to promote this game.
Ugh.
Be this general character that doesn't really hurt anyone's feelings, and then sell the game. It's like a super capitalized
Capitalistic.
version of what it used to be. So now it's like that's all there is. It's just a way to sell more games. And it's crazy because like I saw there's like an infographic of entertainment industries, and like video games are like way above movies and TV and like everything else, where like they make insane money, like ungodly amounts of money, especially like app games.
Yeah.
I think that's like more than, I think just app games is more than movies and TV. And then on top of like console stuff, it's like, poof, poof.
Wow.
So that's why like they're so important, like these streamers,
Yeah.
because they're really like, they like make so much money for people. Like Fortnite without streamers would have been nothing.
Yep, that's true.
It's just crazy. And that's all I see them they're worth, like as an advertisement tool.
All of them? Or they sort of clouded everything for you?
I mean, maybe there's like some lesser, not as big, because the only way to get big is to be super general with like your audience and
Right.
like who you are, to not offend anyone,
Mm-hmm.
or be an attractive girl
Mm-hmm.
with the same like don't offend anyone but be pretty. Not
You're
taking away from what they do, but also taking away what they do.
You're sort of making me side with the person that started this whole thing.
What do you mean?
Like in this, when I was reading about it, Pokimane, how do you, Pokimane? She got like spammed by this guy that sent all his fans to her, like, let's talk shit to her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I sort of like this guy now. Because you're saying she's
But Ninja's
just...
the same. He's just...
But Ninja didn't do that. It was
What?
another guy.
Oh.
Like a lesser known guy.
Oh, he's just... That dude's just jealous of the fact that Pokemon's like the biggest streamer in the world. I don't even know who the guy is, but like what other reason? Like it's...
Maybe it's because like what you're saying, like she's just like... She's
But
just a
even then,
general
like,
lady.
If you're using... I don't want to say hate, but like negativity to like prove a point, then you're already in the wrong.
That's true. You're being too diplomatic.
Me?
Yeah.
So?
I want to be evil. But yeah, I get that.
So if you want to make money, make a good game that's like stream worthy, like a
Uh-huh.
nice, cute little, super cute, funny game, and get a streamer to. If you get Pokimane to play that, you're set for life, literally. And it could be like the simplest, stupidest game. It could be like an hour-long game. To sell it for
$1.
$5, $1. Make it super cute, funny, stupid.
Is that what people do?
I don't.
Or companies do?
They want to make people play their game and spend the money, but I'm
Mhm.
talking about like a normal person like me or you. Like we would make like some super cute, funny, stupid game
Uh-huh.
where they would, and we get them to see it and they play it for however long. We just made our million cash out.
Or pay them $1 million. Hey, play this game, and then we make like
It
10
would
million.
be, yeah, that would work. But you'd have to get their attention.
Yeah.
Like if you could get that link with them and get them to play that game, and if it's good, then you're just set.
Or tell them, hey, we'll give you 10% of our money.
But then that's a gamble for them. If you could just say like, here's $1 million, you play this game for 5 hours.
Right. Yeah. But 10% over a lifetime?
I mean, that's
if you're smart, you would do that.
but they don't know if you're gonna be hit. And I don't think these streamers are like gambling. They just want like
Cash.
they want that check. They're not here to
Invest.
yeah.
All right. Ivan, it's time for something we call What's on the Tele. Anything you're watching recently?
Dark Shadows I saw.
Poopy?
Funny moments, cool moments. But it was like between wanting to be a kids movie and like an adult movie.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? Like, am I supposed to laugh? Am I supposed to feel bad right now? I really couldn't tell sometimes. And he kills so many people.
Yeah.
Not that I'm like super against like murder in movies, but the way it was handled in the movies, it felt like inhumane in a way.
Yeah. And he's sort of like the guy you're supposed to be rooting for, right?
Yeah. And he just makes jokes.
What do you think about Johnny Depp? You miss him?
Yeah, I wish he would have his comeback. He can do it. He just needs to like get over this. Not that it's easy.
Is he allowed to have his comeback?
Yeah,
Did he do any wrong in what he did?
probably, but it's part of like that next phase of humanity where like people
Except
do wrong, but like you realize, okay, you understand what you did. You won't do it again. Let's move on.
Yeah, I think that is a good point. The next phase of after the Me Too is realizing like everyone has their own Me Too thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we have to forgive people now.
Oh no. Yeah.
Anything else? Dark Shadows?
I've been watching this on Netflix, like Crazy Houses.
I saw that. You were watching that.
Why are you looking at what I watch?
I accidentally pressed yours, and I was
You-
like, I don't think he's watching that. And I was like, let me get out of here before I see anything else.
It's just interesting because I've always been my new passion. I always liked the theory behind architecture
Uh-huh.
and like design and like stuff like that, and how like the show basically like let's say it was built in Norway. They use like Norwegian lumber and Norwegian themes of the past to build like this modern house, so it's like modern but pays
Oh.
homage to
Uh-huh.
other things. And that's like what each house pretty much does. And then it's just interesting to see like the thought process of like how like that brick wall symbolizes like a legitimate feeling, whereas like normally like we see this like it's a wall, but in like a real like architecturalized home, that wall
Yeah.
would have a meaning.
Rich people, though, stuff.
Yeah, but like they go into like the fact that modern architecture, it's super like watered down because they want like built houses. They don't want to think about like how it lays in the land, how it works with the community and stuff like
Yes.
that. They just want, here's a house, live in it.
Yep.
It looks like all the other houses.
Yep.
And that's what architecture is these days.
Yep.
So it's cool because they go into that and say like, this is what's missing. This is what that means.
Reminds me of Kanye and his ideas for houses. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we need to live in a society that has natural light or stuff like that.
Yeah, but with Kanye, I just hate how he doesn't know how to say his message without sounding crazy.
Yeah.
Because he has the ideas, but he needs like that filter that he'll never get because he thinks he doesn't need a filter.
He should just be like the income generator and hire like the people, which he does.
But he's too crazy to not let people. He wants to be part of what that person does too.
He wants to take. He's too egomaniac, and he wants.
Yes, where he should just realize there's an idea that hasn't been done. Let's get a good architect to do it, and then okay, how do we tell people that we need open air? Okay, let me get Leonardo DiCaprio to talk about eloquently how this is needed.
Yeah.
And he's just like the idea guy.
I want to watch that show now because I do see like it's for the art inclined, you know.
Yeah.
Like
I don't ever want to be an architect. It seems too like intricate.
Yeah.
But like it would be interesting if I had the money to build like my own dream house and say like, look, because they talk to the architects too. There's one house with this guy. He was so obviously like a narcissist, but like he asked the architect to make it super detailed and make it like him, and the house was like super nice, but it's so like a disco ball kind of like overly extravagant.
Yeah.
And like he has like you'd have to watch it, but it's just such a obviously like narcissist house.
It's creepy.
Like everything is just so beautifully like art, mirrors, like a pool like in the middle. It's just like when you watch it, I'll tell you the episode, but and you talk to the guy and he's like intense and he's like perfectly shaven, perfectly looking everything, and he doesn't blink. Like the lady gave him a compliment and he's like looking at her.
That's creepy.
A little bit. Like they kind of cut it so you can't see it, but if you look at him, you could tell like this dude he loves himself and he loves that everyone loves him in a way.
Ugh. Who is he?
Just some random dude. It
Some
was like,
rich guy?
It was in the Miami episode, I think. Miami?
He would live in Miami.
Yes. He was even saying like, I love the craziness of Miami.
Too much cocaine.
Yeah.
Peacemaker.
I haven't watched. I don't have HBO anymore. I'm focusing on what I have on Netflix.
Good man. It's I don't know. I don't really want to go too into detail about Peacemaker, but at least it's I like how it's different than everything. And it's his own vision of what's his name? James Gunn's own vision of a not so good hero.
Mm-hmm. Have you watched it?
Yeah, I watched 2 episodes.
Okay.
It's interesting. Euphoria.
Shut up.
Still watching that? You still haven't watched it, huh?
No.
You son of a gun. Station 11. Have you seen that?
No.
It's a HBO show. Oh, you have HBO. I think you'll like Station 11.
Why?
It's like if COVID happened,
Mm-hmm.
but a million times worse.
Okay.
But it doesn't focus on that.
So it's like the background. People just living life. But like also Grana.
Kinda. I don't want to give too much detail, but it's probably top.
Any actors I know?
The guy from Don't Look Up,
Leo?
the bad boyfriend that dumps her after.
I hated that guy.
Just watch it. I don't want to give too much detail. Station 11. I don't know if you'll watch it, but you should watch it. Yeah, that's all I really want to talk about. What's on the telly? I haven't signed for a section we like to call Really Be Bussin'. Earl Sweatshirt. Sick.
Nice little wet fart for that guy.
The Sick album. His album's called Sick. Did you listen to it?
No.
Not interested at all, right?
I listen to single. I'm over rap. It's done.
You're done?
I've moved on to whatever's next. I'll listen to whatever artist I like comes out, but you lost me, rap. You lost a good one today.
The album Sick to me takeaways are it's very
Sick.
it's kind of like
Good.
I don't know if it's good. I don't know what it is. It's just so it's kind of complicated to me. It reminds me of like jazz. As far as like
You have to know if it's good,
What?
even if you don't like it.
I
Like,
don't
is
know
it
if it's
well-made?
good. If it's well made.
Yeah. Because that's like his thing. He makes ugly music on purpose, isn't it?
That's a way to say it. I just like I know there's genius behind what he's saying. I
Okay.
just don't understand it.
So I gotta listen to it, huh? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, you gotta listen
I'm
to
the
it.
only one who can understand this
There's
fella.
Like you can tell he's talking about like his life and like things he's dealing with, but there's so much like it's layered.
Like metaphors.
Not metaphors,
Like
but
butterfly broken in the wings. I'm gonna kill a trash can.
there's some of that. But you would have to know like him to understand
you
like his lyrics, you know?
It's
And
like,
then there's like very meta stuff and like metaphors like you just said that's like and maybe it's promoting like
gun violence.
replayability,
Uh-huh.
but maybe it's also being off-putting for a reason like
Maybe it's like art is essentially how you communicate what you're feeling, right?
yeah.
But I think he likes that secretiveness to him, so he's communicating in like a secretive way that you really have to listen to. And even if you really listen to, you have to know him too.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of like what's holding him back too. Like you got to be able to communicate your message to others.
Which I think he doesn't care at all about.
Yeah. Which like, I mean, do what you want, but I feel like he's gonna die and realize like, I should have maybe just sold out a little bit so I'm not like doing
Yeah.
dirt poor stuff. Not that he's poor, but I'm sure he should be a lot bigger.
Yeah. He should be like
Vince Staples.
right. Like a more indie version of Vince Staples. Or like the
Indie
Alchemist
J. Cole.
version of Vince Staples.
Yes.
There's just too much there. Corday.
I don't
I know.
like. He's probably like, what do you call it? Patient zero of like why I don't like rap anymore.
Uh-huh.
Not that he's bad, but like his name just feels like so basically rap.
What's Corday? Like
I
is
don't
it
know, but I heard it and I was like, that's another rapper.
he I was listening to him. His like everything sounds fine, nothing like bad. But I guess like the one feeling I do get is like his sort of thing is I think suited towards like the J. Cole version of what everyone like the
J. Cole trap.
kinda I don't know. I think what I notice is that I sort of see why people don't like him. And it's sort of the same feeling you get when you listen to Logic.
Okay.
Just like, I don't sense something in you.
Horny. Disingenuous.
Not disingenuous, just like there's something missing.
Lack of vulnerability. Lack
No.
of honesty. Lack of true honesty.
Lack of uniqueness.
Someone said that to me, I'd cry.
Like Logic and him are the same because like when you hear it, it's like you're saying this and everything sounds fine, but these are just words.
I think that's a lot of what's missing in rap is like the feeling behind what you're saying. And I don't think a lot of rappers have that like Kanye, he can make you feel like what he's feeling with what he's saying. 21 Savage can do it, even if his raps are about like what everyone else is rapping about these days, but he feels what he's saying.
Yep.
When he's saying like, I lost a friend to gun violence or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Corday can do that and you don't really feel that. Like he lost them, but he didn't feel like impact. He's more using his friend as like a verse. Whereas 21 is using his friend as like a verse, but like emotional outlet.
Yes.
I don't think rappers really have that now.
Yeah.
They don't have feelings anymore. That's what the game does. Takes away the feelings.
The Game and Kanye. Have you heard that song?
Have you heard T.I. versus the People?
Yeah.
I think this is like the sequel to that in my head.
Oh, okay.
Not literally, but like spiritual successor.
Uh-huh.
Just because like I like the beat and the hook, but I don't care about the game. He kind of sounds like a DJ Khaled who can rap.
Right.
And then Kanye, he's just talking about like what happened like a day ago. And he's going to forget about it next week.
Yeah.
And it was like free verse, whatever. Not bad, but it's like, it's nothing real.
Yeah. I hear you.
Thank God it's the game song. So I can say like, that's not Kanye. That's the game.
Take it off of his discography.
Pretty much.
I remember liking the game a lot when he first came out in high school. But then the more albums he came out with, the more I realized all his raps are just like about other people. Like I don't know if you ever listened to it. He's like, I was hanging out with Dr. Dre the other day, and like Eminem said, girls aren't.
Jeez.
But sometimes I ride around listening to Snoop Dogg.
He's one of those who has nothing to him.
Yeah.
Like, it's a modern one. I was the baby, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the baby's a little too young to say that for sure, but he has like that game of like, there's nothing really more there.
Yeah. That's sad.
There could be more, but that's up to him to see if he ever grows. And the game never grew. Obviously.
No. He fizzled out.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because in a way, like the game I see him as like a legend.
I know.
But if you like look at him in a microscope, he like just sat around legends.
Yeah. It's creepy, right?
Yeah. Like, what's his hit song? What's the song like? This is
his best song is probably a song that 50 Cent owns. Hate Her to Love It.
So he's like French Montana.
Yeah.
But who can rap better?
Yeah, he's actually the good thing about him is like he has a great the delivery as far as how he raps.
The baby.
Right. But the words don't have any meaning.
So the sickness was in rap for a while. And finally the cancerous tumor is coming to fruition and is about to pop.
Yeah, hip hop is sort of in a weird state right now. But I have hope. I will continue to have hope. FK Twigs came out with a mixtape, quote unquote. It's good.
I listened to a few.
Has some good ditties.
It's good. Not my thing.
Correct. It's interesting. That's it. I think I'll have a more formulated take on Earl's album next podcast. I'm just trying to dissect it. It's so weird. I do love how like The Weeknd gave me like just perfectness.
Like that little dopamine.
Yeah. It was dopamine.
There you go.
There it is.
Some quality for your ears.
Yeah. And I think like Kendrick is like a extremely refined version of Earl, you know?
Okay.
And I think Earl's for certain people and for certain things, and I think Earl's for like 10 people in this world. That's
one
the thing.
including Earl.
Yeah, one
So 9
including
people.
Earl and his like 5 friends.
Oh God. Yeah.
And that's cool because like art isn't supposed to be for everyone. And I think he knows that. And I think he wants that.
I think just like my criticism of him is that like at a point you got to tell people what you feel in a
Yeah.
little more precise way. Not that he has to be like Kanye levels of
Correct.
precision of what exactly he's feeling, but like I think the best art would be the ones where you have to dig a little bit but not too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe sometimes you want that really heady art that you have to really dig into, but if his whole discography is just digging and digging, like no one's ever going to get to know you and you never tell people who you really are.
Yeah, I feel like his idea is like, well, for me, this is just something that happens to make me money, and I get to do whatever I want.
Right.
And I don't really care about what you think.
But still, like I feel like not caring is caring even more in a way. Because you care so little, you want people to know you don't care.
Yeah.
Not that he's like, I don't care about anything, like publicly. But not caring so violently is like
Its own thing.
it's like on the other, like the middle is caring, not caring, caring too much. Find this. He's like, here. What's caring too much? What people think.
Yep.
Who's like that?
Chance.
Yes. Chance, Earl. Who's in the middle? Weekend? Kendrick.
It's because like I think Kendrick wants to change people. Earl's like
Tyler.
I'm just using this as like a diary,
But
and
still,
it happens to be public, and I'm only releasing it because I get to make money and feed my kid.
But even that's like, it's selfish.
It is.
But like, not the good kind of selfish, I think.
It is good because it helps him.
But I think you would help yourself the most by helping others.
That's true. And that's dicey.
Not that he has to make every album for everyone else, but like I think if he really thought about like how can I help the most people with what I've learned and my message and how I feel, because I'm sure he has like his own feelings that people can relate to, and that's how you help people. Music, you make something that people relate to, but if nobody relates to it besides like those freaking nerds who want to dissect everything, like, oh, this 30-line stanza, he was talking about his girlfriend from 2004 that he knew for 2 weeks.
Right.
And that specific feeling of when he dropped a quarter near her. Not that he's done that.
And who really wants to like do that? Who wants to?
Those are like for the historians.
Yeah.
Diggers.
But it's not like he's trying to like. A historian is good for someone like Kanye, who's like doing a lot of things in public. Well, not in public, but like for the masses.
Archaeologist?
Yeah. But he's like just living his life.
Selfish.
Yeah. That's classic. Classic, like, I'm thinking, but there's nothing there.
Selfish.
All right, guys. This is another beautiful episode of Peliculas with the Bros. We'll be back next week with another film, most likely. We don't know yet. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please leave a comment. We'll talk back. This is Adrian.
Ivan.
Bye.
Bye.